The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is our regular get-together with you in audio format to discuss, to share, to keep you updated on all the Auburn news, topics, discussions, scuttlebutt, things that are happening on social media, and so you can be prepared around the water cooler when you're talking about this. With the Auburn family, we cover the Auburn experience here, all about Auburn sports, culture, Auburn family. We're here to talk about it. If it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today. Episode 69 of Ever to Podcast. Today's date is September 30th, 2025. And I am always your host, Kyle Loomis, here to bring you the topics of the day. We're going to be talking about, obviously, catching you up from the weekend that was, which was the culmination of a very emotionally draining and drama-filled week for the Auburn family. A lot of it related to football. We're going to get you updated on some football things as well. We're going to take a little bit more extensive look into some things that are happening for Auburn in the pros as well, and then some other things we might have time to get into. As always, we don't know what we're going to be able to jam-pack in here. So let's get started with this episode of Ever to Podcast. Let me start you off with just some of the catch-up of the news. Obviously, you know by now, Texas A&M defeated Auburn 10-16. A lot of implications and discussions to be had around that. We've done that on the Auburn Experience podcast, episode 144. If you want to take a look at that, listen to that, watch that on YouTube, whichever format you prefer. Go check that out. We dive into a bunch of different things there, as well as the topic of Bruce retiring, Stephen being named the head coach. So check all those things out if you want to get informed a little bit more on those things in some detail. But here, kind of catching up, most of you know we are in a bye week right now, so things slow down, which content creators like me, I'm sure, are very thankful for. Just a little break. Probably the team needs it as well. But obviously, that's going to alter a little bit the amount of news and discussion points that we have this week. So we don't have any opening week press conference from the head coach. We did hear from some of the coordinators, the offensive and the defensive coordinator for Tiger Talk last night. There won't be any player interviews this week that we have scheduled. We will hear from Coach Hugh Freeze on the SEC teleconference on Wednesday, like normal. But that's about it in terms of things that we can update you on solidly outside of other things just naturally coming out in the news cycle. On Tiger Talk last night, obviously I didn't listen to the whole thing, but from the notes that I was seeing from a lot of people out there, just not a lot to glean from it other than obviously the coordinators addressing what worked, what didn't work, obviously what worked on the defensive side, what didn't work on the offensive side. Derek Nix was talking a lot about how much they've been spending time in the film room trying to really pinpoint where this thing is not working and falling apart. And as Coach Hugh Freeze said in his post-game interview, that this is a top-down approach, meaning to analyze what he is doing, what the coaches are doing, how they're teaching things, what the players, what they're not getting, what are they doing wrong. All of this, do we need to reevaluate people's positions? All of these things that you traditionally hear fans clamor about, trust me, folks, they're doing it. And they're trying to figure this thing out, and they've got 2 weeks to get it figured out, because that, we all agree, the coaches do as well. Trust me, this can't happen again. Some other football notes for the week that we want to make you aware of. Just some interesting things that are going to be coming up here, and you'll be hearing more about. Keldrick Falk has been named to the College Man of the Year award. This is that type of award they've given out in the NFL a lot. Derek Brown's been up for that before, but Keldrick Falk has been named to that watch list. If you've watched how Keldrick has carried himself since day one here at Auburn, seen how well he is thought of not just as a player, but as a leader out there on the field. This should not shock you in any way. And really, in Auburn's post, it says an excellent on and off the field. You don't sometimes get seen some of your excellence off the field if you're not performing a little bit on the field. That's not always the case, but when those two coincide together, it makes a very special person. And certainly we want to give kudos to Keldrick Falk for continuing to lead by example on and off the field. Some notes for game times. I know we're always frustrated about how they now choose to divvy out the game times. I guess it's somewhat better. We do have some information at least, but they just give so many options about when this could happen. You'll know that obviously the next game is the big one, Auburn versus Georgia. Everyone's been looking forward to this a long time. We've known for a long time, since the summer, that it was going to be an evening kickoff. In fact, I think we knew in the spring was when those times came out. And that it was going to be really exciting because it was going to be a night game. But they still haven't committed to what time as of today, and they posted this yesterday, of what channel and what exact time it's going to start. It was a time window. So it will either start at 6, these are all Central Time, 6 p.m., 6:30, or 6:45. I feel like that's basically always the case because they plan for a certain time, and usually the game before it always rolls over. So it'll be at 6 on ABC or 6:30 at ESPN or 6:45 on the SEC network. I think with Auburn and Georgia having lost recently, that lost a little bit of punch of this, and that may be why some of the if-or situation is happening right now. But it doesn't take away from how exciting that game is going to be. But those are a few notes for you about football. Something just kind of related as well. The band announced that they're going to have a brand new, sounds like a light-up show, kind of looks like, and a theme to video games. It's called Game On. So for that halftime show, I'm getting really excited for that. And it's going to be playing some music, obviously, that they helped create for the College Football 26 game. Definitely get to playing that if you haven't. It's fun, and some of the players in there are really fun to play with in that game. So there's some football stuff. We might have some time to come back around to a few other things, but I want to spend some time today, now that we've got a bye week, spending more time on some other things. So let's talk about some Auburn in the Pros updates. First of all, not that I'm aware of, is there anybody else in the MLB postseason, but they sent out a message on social media, Auburn Baseball did, congratulating Casey Mize for making it to the postseason with the Detroit Tigers. If you've been following along with that, he made it to the All-Star game. If you've been following before that, how rough a time it has been for the number 1 overall pick in the draft when he was in after he left Auburn, with some injuries and stuff like that, and the way he has bounced back to become an all-star, the way he has bounced back to become a leader for that Tigers team, still really happy that he's part of a Tigers team, is really awesome. So this gives you, as an Auburn baseball fan, something to be excited about in the MLB if a lot of your teams are out, which I would imagine a lot of you, a certain team is making you very sad that how bad it was this year. But Casey Mize is something that you can root for as an Auburn baseball fan. Check that out. I probably will be following along with the Tigers and seeing how Casey does in this offseason. Really excited to see how he continues. This is a little bit delayed, and these are in the basketball realm bit of news, but I wanted to acknowledge this. Sharif Cooper is getting another opportunity in the league on I believe, a 10-day two-way contract, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's just a two-way contract with the Washington Wizards. So they've already announced that a couple of, maybe over a week ago at this point. But also, they're putting images out of him wearing the number 13, things like that. Just another one of those names that Bruce Pearl, his legacy, has left behind and helped get to the league and make Auburn respectable in the circles of the NBA conversations. Not just Sharif, not just Jabari, not just Walker, but you've got Chuma, you've got Isaac Okoro, you've got others as well that have been in there. Dylan's, made some moments out there. Jalen has as well, and there's still others out there that are even making their names in the foreign professional leagues and other opportunities as well, the G League, all that kind of stuff. So congrats to Sharif. Wanted to definitely bring that up for those of you that are wondering how he's doing. Someone you don't have to wonder how she is doing if you've been paying attention at all. I know the WNBA is maybe not everyone's first choice, or at least some people's first choice for basketball, but you're missing out on history being made if you're not at least staying tuned in with what's going on there. DeWanna Bonner has become, over her career, one of the most prominent names in that league for her ability to do a variety of things, and one of those is win. She just made a league record 15th appearance in the WNBA playoffs. Think about that. Now, you could say that's luck. You could say just right place, but that's about being part of a really good team, and that's about contributing to that team to help get there. How good she's been in certain situations. There's even this stat that they shared that she's second all time in playoff 3-point field goals made. Not obviously the total of a career, but just in the space of the playoffs. So we put this out today actually on social media. DeWanna Bonner equals postseason. That's what she does. She's back with her team that drafted her, the Phoenix Mercury. They just made it to the finals, and they beat the number 1 seed to get there. And they may be taking on one of her other former teams that she was just recently winning, depending on how that goes in the WNBA playoffs. So keep in mind, I know it's not your first choice, but you need to be looking into that and paying attention to that because DeWanna Bonner is doing some big things. Last little bit here, and we're right at time anyway, so I probably don't need to expound on this too much. We've done this in the main show. I just want to encourage the Auburn family out there to really consider how you're reacting to the 2 losses and put some things into context and not just emotions. Some of you are calling for head coaches and other coaches to be fired, people to be benched and things like that. And trust me, if the trend continues, that's going to happen. So no amount of yelling and posting about it is going to hasten that. So you're just not representing yourself well or the team, or you're not the team really, but yourself and the Auburn family well. Some of you get mad that people like to call back to the creed and hold you accountable to that. And I'm sorry, that's what you subscribe to if you choose to be an Auburn person. You know, you are supposed to subscribe to mutual helpfulness, loving mercy, walking humbly with God. For those of you that are believers and Christian, you have to ask how you speak and treat coaches and players, even on social media, is reflected by that. I'm not afraid to say that to you. It's the reality. It's the truth. And you've been very forward about sharing what you view as truth to other people. So you need to be willing to accept the criticism if you're going to give it out. Now, this is not to say that me or anybody else that's taking this point of view is righteous and perfect and anything like that, but I am calling for the Auburn family as a whole to get better about this and really think about what you're asking for if you're calling for firings, especially what the implications of that are. That will come if this continues. Trust me, it will. But for now, you've got a team that just lost to 2 top 15, top 10 teams by very few points. We're in it. Yes, they did look horrible. They've all said it. They don't need me to say it for them in this last game. But I promise you, they're working hard to get that figured out. And so you just need to give a little bit more time, a little bit more patience, and just wait and see if this thing can get figured out. Because if you're calling for the other things, I promise you that will come with time if you'll just wait. All of it is contingent upon patience. So maybe didn't do the best job there of explaining my thoughts on that, but I wanted to get it out there, especially when we're in the week of a bye week, kind of reassessing things. But thank you for giving me the time to inform you. Thank you for giving me the time to allow me to share my thoughts on things that the Auburn family is going through. I really do appreciate that very much. As always, we want to encourage you to check out our other content, like the Auburn Experience Podcast, episode 144. Like I just said, we broke down the game, what didn't work in the football game. I think it's obvious, but we talk about it in some detail. The retirement of Bruce Pearl, all that stuff in the basketball world too. So check that out, episode 144. We want to hear from you. Hit us up on the direct messages on social media. Our email is e2cnetwork@gmail.com. As always, we really appreciate you being here and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. And I will remind you again that the Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. War Eagle.